Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's October 28th, 2019, and got a pretty good video for you today. One of the big stories coming from the mainstream media today is the death of former North Carolina Senator Kay Hagan at the age of 66. And this one was heavily by the numbers. And in this video, we're going to look at not just the numerology and gematria of Senator Hagan, but also how this ties into astrology. And I'm sure there's a deeper riddle with her birth astrology, but we're just going to look at the dates of solar and lunar eclipses, total eclipses only in this video. And then also we'll take into consideration the date of the Great Conjunction next year, which is why you see Jupiter and Saturn in the thumbnail for this video. So Senator Kay Hagan has died at the age of 66, and in reverse reduction, Senator Hagan has a value of 66. She was born on May 26th of 1953. And this means she died a span of 156 days after her birthday. Now, the pairing of these two numbers is of particular interest to me, someone who's in tune with this language of numerology. These are the numeric values in Gematria of the number 33 when you write it out. And yes, this is significant. Now, in the alphabetic order, where each letter is assigned a number 1 through 26 relative to its position in the alphabet, 33 sums to 156, T the 20th letter, H the 8th, I the 9th, and so on. Using the rules of numerology in a cipher called full reduction or Pythagorean, where each double-digit number is reduced to a single digit, 33 sums to 66. So right off the bat, you have an alignment with the number 33 and her age at death. And if you're familiar with my work, I talk about 33 in every video where we discuss death. Because 33 in Jewish or Latin gematria, definitely the most significant cipher outside of the ordinal method, the number 33 sums to 895, which is a number of ritual human sacrifice, 895 in ordinal. 33 is the reduction value of the word eclipse. And we mentioned how 33 equals 156 when you write it out. Well, in Hebrew, the word eclipse equals 156. We also get a 66 in Jewish. So, right off the bat, like I said, a 33, perhaps an eclipse riddle, and absolutely that's the case. Now, if you measure from the one and only total solar eclipse to have occurred this year in 2019, which happened on the date July 2nd. Total solar eclipse is very rare, about 7 of them per decade. If you measure from the date July 2nd of 2019 to the date that Kay Hagan passed away, we find it was exactly 118 days later. Kay Hagan's full name is Janet Kay Hagan. Using the alphabetic order, this sums to 118. The next total solar eclipse occurs on the date December 14th of 2020. And if you measure from her death to that date, notice how you get a span of 1 year, 48 days. Using the reverse alphabetic order, the name Kay Hagan equals 148. And she was the senator of the state of North Carolina, which equals 148 in the alphabetic order. Furthermore, notice the date of this eclipse in 2020, December 14th, written 12/14. In Jewish gematria, the name Janet Kay Hagan equals 1214. Now, there's something else that really sticks out about her numerology. Notice how her birth date is May 26th, Well, May 26th just happens to be the date of the next total lunar eclipse. The most recent one was in January of this year. There's not another one until May 26th of 2021. So it's interesting that we already have a clear alignment with solar eclipses, but we're about to find a pretty significant one with lunar eclipses as well. So on the date of this next total lunar eclipse, Kay Hagan, who was born on May 26th of 1953, would be exactly 68 years old on that date. And in Gematria, the phrase total lunar eclipse equals 68. In the alphabetic order, the name Kay Hagan equals 68. And of course, CNN, very familiar with Gematria, coding their headlines accordingly. There's always many different ways to phrase these. And I just want to point out that when you turn the number calculation off, anyway, they gave us a headline of 608. Notice how in reduction, the headline sums to 203. Well, 203 is the value of North Carolina in the reverse alphabetic order. And in standard ordinal gematria, total lunar eclipse, summing to 203 as well. Now, when you read up on Kay Hagan, you find that she had health issues for several years. She was originally diagnosed with an illness in December of 2016. She fell ill on December 8th of that year. Now, if you measure from December 8th, the date that she fell ill in 2016, measuring from that date to the total lunar eclipse, the one that she would have been 68 years old on, you get exactly 233 weeks. Her full name is Janet Kay Hagan, which has double gematria of 233, using both the reverse alphabetic order and Frank Baconus, which is the alphabetic order using capital letters. Now, if we measure from the date that she passed away, and it's interesting that it has the same digits. So she got ill on December 8th, which is 12/8, and then she died on 10/28, which is 1028. Measuring from the date she died to the next total lunar eclipse, the one that she'd be 68 years old on, is 1 year and 210 days. And the reason this sticks out is because even though she fell ill on December 8th, this didn't hit mainstream news until December 10th, 2 days later. Every news outlet that I could find, all of them published their story on 12/10. And this is interesting because the number 121 is the gematria of blood sacrifice, 121 there. But what's also very interesting is that if you instead measure from the date she fell ill in 2016 until the date she died, you get exactly 1,054 days. And in English gematria, the name Janet Kay Hagan equals 1,054. This cipher, again, based in ordinal, but using a numerical structure similar to Hebrew gematria and Greek isopsephy. This number is interesting for more reasons. She died of, Powassan virus, let's call it that. Notice how in the reverse alphabetic order, Powassan virus equals 154. This is the ordinal value of ritual sacrifice. Next year, we have the first great conjunction since the year 2000. And this one falls on the date December 21st. Now, these events, I've recently began looking at these a little bit. If you see my video on Elijah Cummings, you find very clear, obvious alignments to the Great Conjunction. It's all very logical. Well, these are far less significant, or not significant, but frequent than total solar eclipses. These happen about once every 20 years. So if you measure from her death to the date of the next Great Conjunction, you get 1 year and 54 days. And that's on top of all the 154s we just showed you here. Also interesting that if you measure from her death to her next birthday, you get 211 days. And notice how ritual human sacrifice equals 211 in ordinal. By the way, this is 211 days before her 67th birthday, and 67 a number of human sacrifice, also blood sacrifice 67 in reduction. So I found all of that pretty darn interesting. Now, this date numerology is usually what I lead my videos off with, but there's a very clear riddle here as well. Notice how North Carolina, well, here's another 67, but it also equals 77 in the reverse method. We discussed all these other numbers in ordinal. Well, today's date numerology, 10 plus 28 plus 20 plus 19, sums to 77. And I find it interesting how this date falls in line with the Gematria of Hagan. Notice how Hagan equals 31 using the alphabetic order. Today is the 301st day of the year. Today also has 23 numerology and 57, which her name has double gematria of in Jewish and in Francis Bacon. Also, today's date internationally is written 28/10. And today, incidentally, is also a span of 281 days after the most recent total lunar eclipse. And 281 is the 60th prime number. Notice her birth name, Janet K. Ruthven, sums to 60 in reduction. And this is also exactly 60 weeks before the Great Conjunction. So what else is there to say? I mean, clear, again, I always focus on total solar eclipses unless there's a very clear logical case to be made for looking at lunar eclipses. And I mean, on this case, you know, her birth date, the same date as the next total lunar eclipse, and she'd be 68 on that date. Her name's 68, ordinal. Total lunar eclipse, 68, reduction. The alignments are very clear. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for jumping in. Again, everything I do is free to share if you feel compelled to do so. Not everyone's ready to wake up to this numeric matrix we live in, but an increasing number are, I believe. And as time passes and as this next generation grows, I think we'll find that this type of knowledge is going to be more and more accepted. But if nobody's helping spread it, then that dream of ours may never truly come into fruition. So, you know, do your part. Again, try to share it with people who you think might be ready to wake up to this kind of thing. It's fascinating stuff. All right, guys. Peace, love, God bless, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you next time. See ya!